Hey, what's up? It's Chris here from Chris's Sci-Fi Reactions. Today we're back with another classic Who. This is the Chase Part 1. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can head over to Patreon and get the full uncut unedited reaction. Part 2 of the Time Meddler should have just gone up on Patreon when this comes out on YouTube. So I'm trying to think. The last story was really good, gave it a solid 10. Looking forward to seeing how this one goes. I think it'll be pretty hard to live up to the last episode. But yeah, I don't think there's anything else. As I said, the full uncut unedited reaction is available on Patreon, listed in the description below, as well as my social media accounts. So without further ado, let's just get straight on into this episode. That's weird. It's the time vortex. Comparing to how it is in New Who.
Don't whistle, dear, please.
Well, have you nearly finished, Doctor?
Oh, jeez.
Well, can I do anything to help?
I'm guessing this is the time-space visualizer. Ooh, she likes being difficult, doesn't she? Annoying people. Like the young kid.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's a bit far-fetched.
Monsters from outer space.
Right.
I've already told you, my dear. It's a time-space visualizer.
Yes, but apart from making that dreadful noise, what does it do?
Converts notions of light energy into electrical impulses.
Oh, wonderful. I've always wanted one.
Do I detect a hint of sarcasm, dear boy?
I'm sorry, Doctor, but you rattle off explanations that would have baffled Einstein, and you expect Barbara and I to know what you're talking about.
Very well, I will quote you Vanderham's law. Mass is absorbed by light, therefore light has mass and energy.
The energy radiated by a light neutron is equal to the energy of the mass it absorbs.
Splendid, child, splendid.
It's quite simple. It just means that anything that ever happened anywhere in the universe is recorded in light neutrons.
I couldn't have put it better myself, child.
Doctor, you know when I left Earth, scientists were trying to invent a machine that would convert the energy from light neutrons.
Jeez.
What?
Dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal.
Abraham Lincoln.
All
That's what I asked for. The Gettysburg Address.
Okay.
testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We've come to dedicate a portion of it as a final resting place for those who gave their lives that that nation might live. It is altogether fitting and proper that we should do so. But in a larger sense, we cannot dedicate, we cannot consecrate, we cannot hallow this ground.
Yeah, I don't know enough about
Can I
American
Now, all in good time, my
history.
dear, all in good time.
Is the Queen angry, sire? It
It was only a jest.
She has graciously granted you an audience.
Oh, Your Majesty.
Master Shakespeare, you are aware of the concern your character of Falstaff has caused to Sir John Oldcastle.
Okay, so that's Shakespeare.
I can explain, Your Majesty.
You admit it, then?
Yes, Your Majesty.
Good. Give it no more thought. We found it very amusing.
Oh.
Tell me, have you any plans to write a further play on him?
No. No, I haven't, Your Majesty.
But it does not matter. We have an idea which may be of service. You shall write a play of Falstaff in love. Does not that fire your imagination?
Oh, a happy idea, Your Majesty. Yes.
Away with you, Will. To your
I love the TARDIS sound, despite the watching something that happened in the past.
I also have an idea that I used to use in the history of...
Excuse me, I have a bit of a cold.
I'm afraid not, sir.
Do you know the story, then?
I assure you, my lord, it would not be quite in my style.
Very well, then.
It's interesting seeing that compared to, like, the Shakespeare Code that we saw in the third series of Doctor Who.
Denmark.
Very short here.
Are we going to explore now, then?
I shouldn't think there is anything to explore. Just miles and miles of sand.
I would have thought the days would be long and the nights short.
Things.
You never know. Over that sand dune, there might be a city or a space station or anything.
Sounds just like me, you know.
Ian? Ian! Come and look at this.
Hey, you know this gadget of the doctor's, it really works.
Never mind that. Look at this.
Huh? What is it?
I don't know.
Phew, what an awful smell. Well, at least it's not a pool of acid.
That makes it a change.
Oh, I'm so glad that story is over.
It's a trail.
Probably blood.
The Supreme Dalek is ready to receive your report.
Supreme Dalek, have we heard that in Classic before now? I don't think we have.
Doctor, come quickly!
Yes, all right, my dear, all right, all right. What is it now? Gracious me, can't I even relax for 5? The Daleks!
Give your report. Our time machine has annihilated.
I don't know if it's just me, but the Daleks sound really strange and funny compared to the past stories.
They must be destroyed.
Maybe I'm just mistaking it.
Exterminate! Exterminate! Exterminate!
Well, no space city, Vicky.
Midday, I suppose. Trouble. Oh, the trail just ends.
Well, we're a long way from the TARDIS now, Vicky.
Yeah.
I want to get back, really, you know.
Yeah.
They've been missing us. What are you talking about? What's the matter?
You see, when I was very young,
Yes?
near where I lived there was a field. And in this field there was a ring just like that sticking out of the ground. You see, the point was, on the other side of the hedge there was a castle, an enormous thing with a drawbridge. And
Well, go on.
Well, we had this thing that if we pulled that ring,
Yeah.
the drawbridge would come down and something awful would come out.
Vicky, look around you. Can you see a castle anywhere?
Well, at least her laugh isn't too bad.
Vicky, just check it, eh?
Yes.
Wouldn't Echo really take that long? I mean, short of test. Oh, fuck.
Settled here by this wall.
Scared the hell out of me. Trying to think, with a blizzard compared to a sandstorm, which one could you survive, more likely survive? I'd say a sandstorm. If you have water, I'd say you could survive a sandstorm. Whereas a blizzard would seriously lower your body temperature.
It's changed.
Is that Dalek gargling or something? That is really bizarre. I don't know what the hell that is. Okay, that was The Chase Part 1, The Executioners. It was an okay episode. Didn't have me all that invested. I think if I was like, you know, someone who was really interested in American history or, you know, British history, I might have got a kick out of those past events, but I really didn't, you know, if I was going to judge an episode alone, I'd probably give this episode like a 5, but I'm not going to get into that. I rate stories rather than episodes. I'm not going to get into the whole ranking of individual episodes. That just makes it harder. Yeah, I'm trying to think of really any outstanding moments other than the Daleks, you know, referring to the TARDIS and the enemy time machine. It might get better. Now, I think this story may be sort of held back a bit by the fact that it's come off the Space Museum, which was a really good story. So it does have a little bit of that disadvantage. Hopefully it does improve. So, yeah. Vicky's enthusiasm is really good, and she does remind me a bit of the Doctor. Also, sort of that enthusiasm and her behaviour sort of reminds me a bit of Clara. I don't know. Yeah, let's just break it down though. Let's start off here, where we did on the last episode. We see the TARDIS in the time vortex, so this is the time vortex in the, well, the early days. So we then see the Doctor playing around with a time-space visualizer, I believe they called it, at the end of last episode and this episode. Vicky's whistling, and she's sort of very much in the way. You know, she's bored, wants to do something, but no, everyone else has got their own thing, and she's just trying to find somewhere to fit in. Ian is reading The Monsters from Outer Space. I'm not sure if that's a real book or not, or if it was just made simply for this story. Vicky's again sort of going unnoticed and not wanted. She ends up damaging something that Barbara was making for her. I don't think it's a call for an attention, it's just she's bored and wants something to do. Here we have the time-space visualizer making a really bad sound. Then he explains that basically you can see anything in the past from the point you are at in time. So say you were in the year 5 billion, you could see anything pre that. If you were in the year 100 trillion, supposedly you could see anything pre that. So that's the idea, that it's time-space TV. Very good. It would be an interesting idea if we could actually view the past, what happened really in the past. Obviously that would bring up privacy issues, but it would certainly be interesting. The Doctor then asks Ian for a moment in time, and he shows something that is Abraham Lincoln in the past. Obviously we get to hear the TARDIS hum in the background, which is quite good. Then Barbara gets to choose one to select, and she selects Queen Elizabeth I and Shakespeare, I believe, which is really interesting considering we had the Shakespeare Code in New, and sort of seeing how it differs here, like in the Shakespeare Code, which we obviously see a full episode really, which was based around Shakespeare and witches. Then they end up, the TARDIS end up landing on this planet, which has two suns. Basically it's a desert world. Then Vicky and Ian go exploring, which is very much a lot of the episode, not a lot, but some of the episode, a portion of it, is very much Ian and Vicky just exploring, and I feel that was very filler in the episode, that really it was just them walking about and exploring, and I'd give it maybe 5 minutes of the episode was that. Then Barbara insults the Doctor by saying his singing's awful. She goes into the TARDIS, sees on the space-time visualizer the Daleks. We're also introduced here to the Supreme Dalek, which I am pretty sure we haven't been introduced to before. But you could correct me in the comments below if I'm wrong. Here they're really talking about the TARDIS, the TARDIS crew, that they're the greatest enemies again. Their voices sound a little bit weird. Now, again, you can correct me in the comments, but I'm pretty sure their voices in the first two Dalek stories did not sound as strange as they do here. A doctor mentioning that it happened in the past. Ian and Vicky just laying around, basically. Again, have more of this sort of stuff, and then they find some sort of metal pole that they can pull out. Vicky discusses something during her childhood. I liked the way it went light to dark. It just didn't, they didn't just suddenly switch all the lights off and made it dark. They did it in a transitional way. Then they pull it and it ends up opening this underground place. The Doctor and Barbara are then in a sandstorm. Ian and Vicky in this underground place, and some sort of alien creature closes the entrance. The Doctor and Barbara very much trying to survive this sandstorm. They wake up. The entire landscape has been changed by the sandstorm. And then a Dalek comes up. Okay, so that was my breakdown of The Chase Part 1. Just a bit I missed out there was the sound the Dalek made at the end of that episode, which was just weird. Number of things in this episode that really just didn't click with me. I'm not going to judge the story based on this episode alone. As I said, it does have a bit of a disadvantage coming off such an excellent story. But yeah, full uncut and edited reaction on Patreon listed in the description below, as well as my social media accounts. If you enjoyed this reaction, don't forget to give it a like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye.